In this episode, we will finish the drop and pickup logic for items from the inventory. In the last two episodes, we created BP_item base, which already allows us to pick up items. Now we build the drop logic for items from the inventories, and for that we start inside the WB_inventory widget. We have our inventory here, and now we want the entire background of the inventory, so the whole screen, to work as a drop area. For that, add a border to the canvas panel and make sure it is positioned directly above the overlay, because that allows the inventory itself to stay on top of this area, which is important for the setup. Then select the border, and on the right side under anchors, hold Shift and Ctrl and choose Fill, so this border stretches across the entire screen. After that, set the tint alpha value to 0.05, so inside the tutorial we still have a small visual hint that this area is used for dropping items. This keeps the setup very simple. Now we switch to the graph view. In general, every widget that should work as a drop area needs to override the onDrop function, because this is the function Unreal calls when a drag operation is released on that widget. It works very similar to what we already did with the inventory slot widgets. Inside the onDrop function, we now build logic that is very similar to the inventory slots. First, from the operation pin of the function, call getDraggedSlotDataMessage, which we already use in the inventory slots as well, so now we know where the item comes from, which item it is, and which slot data is currently being dragged. Now we first need our player character reference here, so use the getPlayerPawn node and call the getCharacterRef message on it, so we can communicate with the inventory logic through the character. Now we move over to the character blueprint, because we need a function that handles dropping the item. We create this as an event inside the Inventory Manager collapsed graph. Add a new custom event named Inventory Drop Slot Server, and set it to run on server and reliable, because dropping an item changes gameplay state in the world and must be executed by the server so it is correct for all clients in multiplayer. This event gets one input named slot of type S inventory slot, which is the slot that should be dropped. Now call a break node on slot, and that gives us all the information we need for the drop. But to actually remove the item, the inventory also needs to know what it should do. So now we switch over to BPC inventory and add a new function named drop slot, which will handle removing that slot from the inventory. This function gets one input named slot of type S inventory slot, which is the slot we want to drop. Then add an output named successfully of type Boolean, which tells us whether removing the slot and dropping the item worked correctly or not. Here, call a break node on slot, because we need the slot index from that struct. Then call remove item from index and pass the slot index into it. This removes the item from the correct inventory slot, so the inventory no longer holds that item after we drop it. After that, connect successfully to the return node. One important detail here is that this function must only ever be called by the server. With a normal function, Unreal does not enforce that automatically, so we always have to make sure ourselves that only the server calls it. Now we move back to the character blueprint, and here from the break node call the new drop slot function on inventory ref and pass the slot into it. This tells the inventory to remove exactly the slot that we want to drop. Then add a branch node and check whether the drop was successful or not. If true, call spawn actor from class, because this is the point where we create the dropped item in the world. For the class, choose BP_item base, which is our generic item actor that we use as the world representation for dropped items. Then pass in quantity and item data asset, so the spawned item knows what it is supposed to represent and which item data it should use after being spawned. Next, we need the spawn transform position. Split the struct pin on spawn transform, because we need to calculate the location where the item should appear. For that, right-click and search for Get Actor Location, which gives us the current world position of the character. Then right-click and search for Get Actor Forward Vector, which gives us the forward direction the character is facing. To spawn the item directly in front of the player, multiply the forward vector by 100. This gives us a simple offset in front of the character, so the dropped item does not spawn directly inside the player. Then add the multiplied forward vector to the actor location, and on top of that add another 60 on the Z value. This places the item a little above the ground and in front of the character, which gives us a very simple and clean drop position. Now connect that result to the location pin of the spawn transform on spawn actor from class. This means the dropped item now spawns directly in front of the player with a very simple world placement setup. With that, we now have a very simple spawn solution for items that are dropped from the inventory. Now we go back to the WB_inventory widget, and here call inventory drop slot server on the character reference, the function we just created, and pass slot data into it. This sends the dragged slot data to the server, so the character can remove the item from the inventory and spawn it into the world. At the end, call the return node with the return value set to true. This tells the drag and drop system that the drop action was handled successfully. With that, our simple solution for dropping items is now finished. Now start play mode to test it. We already have our axe here in the world. We can pick it up, and it lands in the inventory. Then if we drag it outside of the inventory onto our drop area, it will be dropped in front of the player. After that, we can pick it up again, and it goes right back into our inventory. Then we can drop the items again and pick them back up. With that, the foundation of our simple drop logic is now in place. Now I will assign the remaining items their matching meshes that I downloaded from Quixel Bridge for testing, so we can properly try the full setup with different item types. I will fast forward through this step because I am not doing anything special here. I am simply assigning a fitting static mesh to each item, and since our BP_item base is built generically, it will automatically load the correct mesh whenever that item is dropped into the world. Now that part is done, so let us start play mode and test it. I give myself all the items with the T key, then I start dropping them one by one, and there we go. The correct items are now appearing on the ground. There is only one issue here with the stone and the pumpkin. These do not have a proper collision setup yet, which is why they fall through the floor. That is exactly what I mentioned in the last episodes. Always make sure that your item meshes have collision, otherwise they cannot behave correctly as dropped world items. Now that we quickly added collision for those as well, we test the whole setup again. We throw out most of the items, and now you can see that they are all lying around correctly in the world. After that, we can pick them all back up again, and they also return to the inventory with the correct quantity. Also, the sort functions works as well. One important note here, this test was done while playing as the server, not as a client. We should test that as well in the next step. For that, set the play mode to play as client with 2 clients, then start play mode to test it. Inside client 1, give yourself a few items in the inventory. Then drop most of them onto the ground, with at least one item from each item type. After that, switch over to client 2 and try to pick the items up. You will notice that only some items can be picked up, but not all of them, because the positions do not match correctly. When playing as the server, everything works fine, but as a client it does not. That happens because we forgot one important setting. Inside BP_item base, enable replicate movement under replication, which ensures that when these dropped items fall, move, or settle through physics on the server, that movement is also replicated correctly to the clients. Without this, the client can see the item at a different location than where the server actually has it, which then causes the interaction trace to miss or behave inconsistently. Now compile and save, then start the test again. We repeat the same setup, drop a lot of items onto the ground, then switch to the other client and try to pick them up. And now you can see that it works correctly, and with that we now have a very simple and working drop item system for the inventory. If we now throw everything out again with client 2, we can also collect it again with client 1, and it lands back in the inventory as expected. With that, these 3 lectures for dropping items into the world are now finished. The next episodes will most likely focus on the interfaces, or on the extended stacking system. As always, if you have questions, ideas, or other wishes, just leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.